Morning, and welcome to this webinar where we'll show you the first look at Argus Intelligence. My name's Tim Dolan. I'm the VP of Sales at Altus Group for Northern Europe, and I'm joined by my colleague, Lara Schultz. Lara, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here today. Lara Schultz, my name. I'm based in Frankfurt and I'm part of our global solution expert team, and we'll walk you through Argus Intelligence today.
Thanks, Lara. Yeah, we're excited today to give you the first look at Argus Intelligence. Pleased to see so many people joining us today. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what you should expect from this webinar, and then Lara will do all the hard work and do the demonstration of Argus Intelligence. Before we start, a bit of housekeeping, just to make sure we have a smooth webinar. Please note the webinar is pre-recorded. You'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll have a chat box where you can ask questions. We'll do our best to get back to you via the chat box as soon as possible. If we can't answer your question throughout the session, we'll email you back with the answers within 24 hours. Throughout the webinar, you will also be able to open up some poll questions, and we'd love you be able to take part and let us know your thoughts and answers.
Yeah, and having said that, we would like to directly start with our first poll question for today and would like to better understand who is with us. So yeah, we would like to know if you're already an active user of Argus Enterprise. Yes, no, or not yet, but you might consider that in the future.
Right, so you want to share the slides, Lara? Okay. Based on your knowledge of Altus, you may know us as a provider of software or data analytics or valuation advisory services, or a combination of them all. Many of you are Argus Enterprise AE users and use that to help the valuation workflow. Some of you use Argus Developer for development appraisals, some use Taliance for fund modeling, and Forbury for investment appraisals. So there's lots of data and activity going through those technologies and those types of workflows. If you also see on the top, we have a data and analytics arm, which also manages huge amounts of information. Reonomy holds information on 54 million properties in the US. At the bottom, our advisory services manage data on over $1 trillion of assets, which are valued each quarter through the US, and 100 billion of assets through EMEA. So historically, these solutions and services have been separate and on different technologies. So we've been on a journey for the past number of years in starting to combine the technology we have with our trusted advisors all into one platform. We know there are common challenges in the market. Accessing this valuable data inside Excel or Argus technology has always been a bit tricky unless you are the user and the primary user and understand how to navigate it. So we now understand that the data is incredibly valuable, and it's often a frustration in the organization that it isn't freely available to everybody. And the idea is to really ensure that people can access this information and drive their analysis quickly. Currently, at the moment, that process is very time consuming. So we're bringing together these capabilities into a comprehensive and unified data platform called Argus Intelligence. How does this work? We're taking all the data that flows through our business, and not just data that we license and onboard, but public data and data that we license from third parties. There's also information from the data inputs from Argus Enterprise, and then unique Altus data, data that comes from like our advisory services. We're connecting all of that data through a proprietary entity resolution capabilities and linking all the information we have on each property. And we can provide that through a unique ID called Altus ID, and that's a unique reference for all the commercial real estate properties. We're then storing that data on Altus Intelligence platform, and then we can deliver high impact capabilities like the asset, portfolio, and market level insights and reporting capabilities within the platform. So this result eventually will be an unmatched source of risk and performance data, and it'll be used to transform the way commercial real estate experts model, monitor, and manage their assets. So, what are you going to see today? Well, today we will show you the core ARGUS intelligence solution, which has 3 modules currently. More will come, but we're currently focused on Asset Manager, Portfolio Manager, and Benchmark Manager. You'll notice the core product includes ARGUS Enterprise. So that technology and user interface is not changing. But with ARGUS Intelligence, we're able to surface that data that's locked away in the solution and enable non-ARGUS users to be able to access the valuable information. Okay. Pass over now to Lara, who will do the demonstration.
Thank you, Tim. And then let's directly jump into our platform. So this is how it looks as of today. You can see ARGUS Intelligence is fully web-based with a modern and intuitive user interface. And as Tim has already mentioned, please be aware this is just a first version. We will further develop it. There will be regular releases, and of course, we will keep you posted on our journey. The capabilities here, and again, this is referring back to what Tim just introduced, we have 3 different capabilities available. So first, there is the asset manager piece. This allows us to drill down into each asset down to lease level. We have different KPIs available. We can look into our cash flows, create comparisons for different models over time, but also for specific point in time, and really understand the asset performance. Then the second piece is the portfolio manager component. This is where we roll up data to dynamic portfolios. We can create consolidated outputs, again, compare over time, and also understand how each asset contributes to the portfolio. And then we have the benchmark manager piece. This is not a focus as of today. And at the moment within the platform, this is available for US properties only. But here we really provide intelligence on top. We show you how the value of your portfolio changes over time, but also why it changes. So we provide you with additional insights to better understand what drives the total value. And here we also provide a 5-year look back. And I think, Tim, you have a bit more information here for our audience.
Yes. So for everyone who's investing in the US, I mean, this could be of interest. Going forward, we want to make these capabilities available in other regions, so please look out for that. I mean, in Europe, we have been working on a pan-European benchmark data set for some time. We have press releases and articles each quarter, so those are available. Ask us if you need any further details on that. Happy to share. We've been working with the open-ended fund investors to help aggregate the valuation data for their funds. This helps them compare the yield and the cash flow across their assets. And then this allows them, us and the investors, to review what has happened in the last quarter, but most importantly, why. And most importantly, clients can then compare their performance against their peers. The turnaround time is normally 6 weeks at the end of the quarter, and which is very different to what other aggregators can turn around. You know, there's currently around 40 billion of AUM running through that service at the moment, so we're happy to provide further updates when needed. Benchmark Manager will be officially launched in the US soon. And we're happy to have separate sessions, demo sessions on this, and make sure everybody gets the insight they need. So feel free to reach out on that. So we'll just do a quick poll. Now, how difficult is it to quickly compare your performance with your peers? Is it easy? Okay, but could be improved, or difficult? Laura.
Yeah, and for those who already use ARGUS Enterprise today, you might be familiar with the capabilities to create different scenarios over time, for example, to look into the valuations, how they change, into the budget, but maybe also to just create various scenarios during the underwriting process. So you quickly want to look into a best case versus a worst case, etc. And here within the platform, within ARGUS Intelligence, we will see that it's way easier to manage all those different models and also, yeah, to have better transparency. So it all starts with the asset view. And what happens here is this Argus Intelligence pulls all the information from Argus Enterprise. So just to mention that again, Argus Enterprise really stays the same. And then this platform sits on top of Argus Enterprise and really grabs all the data then available in Argus Enterprise. This is based on the technology Tim has described earlier. So therefore we use an Altus ID, and this Altus ID will be created based on an asset unique address. And this helps us to really pull all the various data points, such as valuation related data points, budgeting, business planning, acquisition related data points. And then that allows us to easily store those data points over time and make that available in an easier fashion for you. And what exactly does that mean? So from here, we can then drill into any of those assets, and we always start with an asset level dashboard. But what is new here? This is this model overview, and this gives you the full transparency. So here you can really understand all the various purpose this asset is used for over time. So we have acquisitions, budgeting models, business planning models, and valuation models. And you can really go back in the past and have all the information here available, but you can also directly check if these models are complete, yes or no. And in this example, we see that we are creating business plans on a monthly basis. We have valuations on a quarterly basis. A budget for this specific asset is created on a yearly basis. And if we go to the very beginning, we see that we have created different acquisition scenarios so that we were able to compare and to better understand how the asset is performing.
Thanks, Lara. So looking at this model overview, keen to understand from the audience how they're currently using Argus for the different various use cases. So the first question is, which business process could you use Argus Intelligence to improve? For valuation, for business planning or budgeting and forecasting, for portfolio management, or some of the above?
And then from here, from this model overview, we can now pick and choose every model we want to have a closer look at, and then directly dive into the underlying details. So I decide now to have a closer look at my latest valuation model. This is Q2 2024. Then I can just click on this specific model, and then it will directly bring me into the asset level dashboard. At the top of the screen, I can directly see the current model I'm looking at. At the top, I have some KPIs available, such as the WALT, the scheduled, the market rent. I can directly see if I'm over or under market rent. Below, I have some time series available, such as the NOI, but also the occupancy rates over time. And then when we scroll down further, there's additional information available to us and everything around purchase and investment information. We have our cash flow, and then also some key assumptions and performance measures such as the IRR. Now what I can do, and that's a huge advantage compared to how this is done as of today in Argus Enterprise. I can just grab every model we've seen before in the model overview and create a comparison mode. And that's quite simple. I just need to choose a specific type, a subtype if there's a subtype available, and then the period I want to compare against. And in this example, I want to compare the valuation of Q2 2024 with the first quarter of the year. Everything will be directly recalculated in real time. And you see now there is this comparison mode available. I immediately see all the variances, and either if the values are improving or not, they are color coded in green or red. And then I can really walk through this asset level dashboard to better understand what is driving those changes. So, for example, we see the NOI is increasing. However, the total cash flow, this value is decreasing by around about 23%. Now, to better understand the reason behind it, we can scroll down a bit further, have a closer look at the cash flow, and then we can immediately see that our potential gross revenue has been improved from the first to the second quarter. However, when looking at our leasing and capital costs, we see that these costs has been increased, and this will then result in the total drop of around about 23%. So you see, it's really easy to navigate and to understand where those changes are coming from. Everything is available in one single screen, and there will also be made further developments already very soon, that we add KPIs and that this dashboard will be even more flexible to be used from your side. Then from here, we can even go one step further into the details, into the lease level section. Here we have our contracted data points, contracted information available. So here we can look at tenant by tenant, see if there are any opportunities available, and we provide you with information such as the lease start and end date. Here we do also track the contracted rent, but also the market rent. And then for every tenant, we can identify if we are over or under market rent. And again, you see we are still here in the comparison mode. So you can also see how the various tenants affect the asset performance. And in this example, we see a change in the remaining term. This is dropping by 3 months, what absolutely makes sense here for this specific comparison. In addition to the asset management capabilities, we can now start rolling data up and create portfolios. And this can be done mainly in 2 different ways. So the first possibility we have, and let me quickly go here into the details, is to just select the assets you want to be part of this portfolio from an asset list. So this is more a manual process. You can tick all the assets you want to be part of this portfolio, and then you have a static portfolio. The second option you have is to use filter sets, and here you can filter for specific asset types, regions, currency, and by creating a portfolio with these filters, it's a more dynamic approach, and this means whenever new assets will be added to your Argus Enterprise total portfolio, they will be automatically added to this specific portfolio. So it will always be updated, and you don't need to adjust it over time. Also important to notice is that assets can sit across different portfolios at the same time. Again, for the Argus Enterprise users, you know that there, as of today, it's not possible. So one asset can really just sit in one specific portfolio, but here you can really quickly slice and dice, create as many portfolios as needed. And then, of course, we also provide the needed user permissions around that to make sure for different users, different regions, that only the users who should have access to certain portfolios will also get the required permissions for that. When we now jump into a specific portfolio, we again create this dashboard for you. And let's again jump into our valuation of the second quarter 2024, because what we also do for every portfolio is again to create all the data points for all the assets that sit in this specific portfolio. So you see here you have the same capacities available. You can choose between different model types, but also between different points in time. So you have the full history available And depending on the purposes you want to analyze this portfolio for, you can quickly navigate and choose a model from here. And then we have all the consolidated and total figures available. So for this portfolio, we see there are 4 assets in there, 3 different property types. We are looking at a total value of 130 million Great Britain pound. We see some average figures, but also the distribution, in that case, the distribution of the NOI per property type, to better understand if there are any cluster risk, or to also verify if we are heading in the right strategy, if someone's focused on a specific asset class. So you can directly cross-check here. This can also be changed if needed, so you can look for various parameters. And at the bottom of this dashboard, we also show the full asset list, so you can directly see all the assets with some key parameters which are part of this specific portfolio, to better understand how each asset is contributing to this portfolio. So we can directly look into the area, sale dates, cap, discount rates, but also into the present values. If you are interested then into, again, digging into the details, you can directly pick a specific asset, and then you would go back to the asset level KPI dashboard. And this is really how you can start with an high level overview. You create your ad hoc portfolios, and then you can always analyze and go down into the details, go into the asset level underneath, and then really jump into the lease level details as well. And very similar to what we've seen before, we again have this comparison functionality available. So it works exactly the same way as we've seen previously. On asset level, everything will be recalculated. You see the trends. You have the ability to understand how this portfolio changes over time. And here, really one of the key elements is that you can see the same on an asset per asset basis, to really understand which assets are driving the performance of your portfolio, and also to identify if there are any over or underperformers here. So all in all, very user-friendly and easy to navigate through all of the details here, especially for non-ARGUS enterprise or not daily ARGUS enterprise users, or for those who are more interested into outputs rather than inputs. And yeah, this is already available as of today. As mentioned, there is more to come over the year. And by this, I want to give it back to you, Tim.
Great demo. So yes, so watch this space for things that are developing. We'd like to thank you for your attendance. We hope you enjoyed this webinar. Please don't hesitate to contact me, Lara, or any of the team to discuss ARGUS Intelligence and how it can help your business. As a side note, we will be at MIPIM from the 11th to the 14th of March. You can find us at a stand which is r9.et. So ping us for a chat. If you want to have a one-to-one session, we're able to show you this tool and others. But either way, contact us and we'll be happy to walk through it. Please note that you will be able to rewatch this webinar on demand as well. So you'll be sent that to you via email, so you can all access and maybe share with your colleagues. So thank you. Appreciate your time. Well done, Lara. We'll speak soon.
Thank you.